right, this is we all seen the regular sketch. This is the more detailed version. As you can see, Octogator here on the right. He's got his tentacles. This guy's an octopus mouth, or this gator mouth. We got Frogman. Highly detailed. Fantastic.
Looks great.
Agreed.
Yeah, I said in the comment section of where this was shown in the community page, it's good to be surrounded with so many artists, like the accomplished ones and the hidden ones. It's inspiring. This is one nice
I put
advantage
this
of
up.
being around us here.
Yeah, I put this up on the community page for members, and someone chimed in, "Oh, you're doing a cross promotion with Asylum Entertainment." I said, "What?" So what? Holy shit! Now I had to start looking. I had to
Jay.
Google. I was like, "Fuck." Yeah, I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "No, they don't have one." I was like, "Because originally, a lot of people don't know this, right? Probably nobody knows this, but originally it was going to be Croctopus. Then I looked that up. I was like, "No, that's people already using that. There's already other Croctopuses." So then we went Octogator. Yeah, Jay was gave me a heart attack. I was really worried. But that is the pencils. But this is the HD, never before seen by anybody outside of the very small, tight-knit community. Look at that fucking shit.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that looks really good.
That looks good. I'd say if I can make a comparison with EVS, it looks almost like Cyberfrog and Salamandroid almost.
It's a comics gator, yeah.
Monetize your gators.
Frogman wants a fist pound. Yeah, right across.
Yeah, more like it wants a tentacle pound.
This is fantastic. This is. I was blown away when I see this.
I can't stop looking at it. I can't wait to start inking.
Look at that. He's got that. Who's coming in? Finbar's in.
Oh shit!
Hey.
Oh, what's this we're looking at? Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. This is a Frogman and Octogator. A good friend, a good pal, Finbarr Saunders, drew this. I think Rosie did it. Did Rosie really draw this and he took credit for her art?
Who's saying this?
I seen
Who's
it in
saying
the
this
chat.
now?
A couple people were saying that.
There's so much fucking haters in this chat. It's starting to piss me off now. I was saying to TJ before, so me and TJ have been talking back and forth because I've been saying that I can't wait to see this inked by him. It's 3 a.m. UK time. I'm up at work in 3 hours. I'm laying next to my wife right now, fully tempted at the idea of TJ inking this drawing.
And she's all excited.
I appreciate.
For her,
I appreciate.
no,
I appreciate. There's a lady in the chat. Sorry, Katie.
So here's a question, Finbarr. You drew this.
Yeah.
Is this water coming down?
Yeah.
Or is this blood?
It's water. So the idea is he's just sort of emerged from a swamp and
I got that feeling from the rest of the water dripping.
Yeah, and then he's you can't see it, but there's another tentacle. There's supposed to be another larger tentacle going across the top of the. That's why there's more water dropping from the top. I did so I want to just so you can see he's got like you can see his thumb poking out from behind one of the tentacles there, right?
Yeah.
And the idea I had was that he had 6 tentacles and 2 arms. But funny, like somebody's talking about Rosie drawing it. Rosie actually gave me the idea that no, he should have 8 tentacles and no arms or legs at all, and he should be using 2 of the tentacles at the front and turning them into like fists to fight.
I'm going to be redrawing the Frogman and the Gator just to look like this, so that we don't have the ISOM problem.
No, I like your, you know that. So the one that TJ did, the cartoony looking one, I think that's really awesome, right? I think
mine
that one
looks
looks
like just alligator. That's the problem. It doesn't.
Renowned Zero says essentially my idea, bud.
Oh shit!
He wishes.
Hey, great minds think alike.
Your
Man.
opinion, bud.
I don't think that's the real one.
I bet you if I ever publicly shared any of my ideas, Renowned Zero claim I stole from him. Even though I can prove I've been coming up with these concepts for years.
Is this the real Renowned Zero?
No, it's not. You can tell it's not the real Renown Zero because the zero is a circle and not a.
Yeah, okay,
zero.
you got a point there. Sorry, didn't realize that.
We'll
Luster
pretend
Dog
it is.
says, "Is he wearing a suit? What's with the frog symbol attached to? It's not a suit.
Right.
He's wearing a shirt, and he wears like wrestling style trunks.
He's
Yeah.
wearing what I imagine it is he's
Kurt
basically
Angle's wrestling outfit.
he's basically wearing a singlet. It's like a singlet with an
Yes.
emblem on it. So his arms are exposed and his legs are exposed. But he's wearing like a red singlet with a frog emblem on the chest. And I'm glad we ditched the hood as well. I like drawing this without the hood on it. The hood made it horrible to draw.
Shoulder hair, Blittler. Shoulder head off, Blittler.
Oh,
2 months.
shit,
Thank
look at
you.
that.
Thank you, Rick. Right. I'm making a list. Oh, George is stealing your ideas. Checking.
So I don't know. I'm thinking.
That's why I'm never going to give my ideas on this stream because I don't want George to try and steal any of them.
So
In
I'm thinking
circle,
about.
Lamau, it's a O. I know it was a capital O. You know what I meant.
So before TJ hits it, I'm thinking about going back to it now and taking that thumb out, and then we're just going to go with tentacles instead. What do you reckon, Tony? A bit of live.
Yeah.
So he's just got tentacles instead of 2 hands and 6 tentacles. Well, we're doing a bit of live brainstorming here.
Yeah, I think 8 tentacles, just tentacles.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
and
the
I think,
tentacles instead of the arms.
And I think he kind of
replaced the
forms his front tentacles into fists so he can fight.
Yeah.
I think that'll work. Then you could have it where he, the back 2 tentacles could be where he forms them sort of like legs so he can kind of stand up like in a Godzilla position, but also he can go, horizontal completely with all 8 tentacles and kind of run faster.
Oh, you could go full on horror with this shit. Like he can crawl up on the wall and like sort of like Alien.
So to save me having to do any work, TJ, if you just want to ink over the top of that thumb. Because he's doing it digital, so this is what I worried about. I was going to turn it blue so that TJ could draw over the top of it, and then we could remove the black lines from the blue. But he's doing it digital, so we're okay.
Well, I actually had TJ. TJ sent me an image that I also am going to show off because it's fantastic.
Yes.
And I looked at it, and I was like, I like it, right? But there was a little something off, and like that, he was like, "Oh, I'll fix it right now." Boom, fixed it. So
yeah.
It's
what I'm also thinking is because I'm never going to ink this myself. I'm never going to put inks over the top of this. This drawing will be staying as it is. I'll probably
monetize these drawings.
I'll probably leave the thumb in it just as a because it's a collector's item. But I'm thinking what I'll do with this, Tony, if you're up for this, is we'll give this away, the actual drawing. We'll frame it. Yeah, we'll frame it and we'll give it away to someone who orders the comic. Yeah.
You don't want to sell it.
No, but I mean we're going to sell the comic, so somebody who orders the comic can win it.
So you're saying you don't want to nickel and dime these people and charge them?
May I make a suggestion?
If I could give it all away for free, I would. But Tony's the one that wants to make money.
May I make a suggestion? And I'm saying this legitimately. Why not make it a sketch variant cover?
It's not going to be. So it's not right. Okay. I was going to talk to Tony about this privately.
Because some book, I'm just saying, because some books, will take a page from inside the book and sometimes use that as a variant cover or a sketch variant cover. So Robert, the idea is this is going to be a cover. So I was going to talk to Tony about this privately, but I would like this to be a special. I've already been calling it giant size Awesome Amphibian Adventures because I wanted this to be like a 48-page special. And
this is a separate issue. This is not going to be in the first issue. That's how far ahead we're thinking, right? Because again,
okay, trust me, I got a lot of far ahead thinking of my stuff too.
And it all started because so we were discussing the comic book for those of you who weren't aware. We're discussing it. And I mentioned a line in the comic about because there's a time jump. There's a 2-month time jump, and basically issues 2 through 9 are going to fall within 2 months, right? So it's kind of like, hey, we see the character now, flashback to his origin, get the origin story, then we end up back in the now with the conclusion of the story, and then the subsequent issues would, if we get funded and everything goes well, which I'm sure it will because we're fucking awesome, you guys are awesome. Then the issues 2 through 9 would fall within that 2-month period, sort of giving you like, oh, this is how he evolved and learned, how to control his powers and, became the Frogman that he is. Right. And so there's a throwaway line that I mentioned where he's talking about, man, I can't believe it's been 2 months since I became the Frogman. And, I've gone through so many things like fighting the Octogator and yada, yada, yada. So it's like a throwaway line. And originally, and I told this to Finbarr, originally, there never was going to be an Octogator in the comic. It originally was going to be a recurring joke that it was always mentioned, but never shown. Sort of like in, I'm stealing from John Carpenter. I steal from everybody. What do they say? Good artist borrow, great artist steal. Right. So in Escape from LA, they keep talking about Cleveland, and in Escape from New York, they mentioned Cleveland, right? No, the adventure that Snake Plissken had in Cleveland, and there's never been an escape from Cleveland, right? It's always just mentioned. And then in what the hell is that? Hot Tub Time Machine, in 1 and 2, they mention an adventure that the group of guys had. I think it might be Cleveland too, right? They're like, "Oh, you put that on? It's in the box." They're like, "Oh my god, you put it in your closet and you wrote on it, the name." He's like, "Well, how am I gonna know what it's from?" And he's like, "You kept it," and like, but they don't tell you, right? And it's sort of like hinted at that something happened, and that's what it was going to be. But Finbarr and TJ fell in love with this idea of an Octogator.
We willed it into existence, didn't we?
Yeah. So now it's going to be a real thing.
Not only have we willed it into existence, so again, I was going to talk to Tony about this privately, but I envisage this guy as being Frogman's Doomsday or Bane, if you like.
Oh yeah.
I wanted this to be so in the 2-month period since the issue 1 and the end of issue, I think it's 10 issues, isn't it, Tony? That's the idea of the first sort of run or the first arc. The idea is that he's fought this guy at some point within that, and he talks about it and he references it. I like the idea that this thing has fucked him up so badly at one point.
The octopuses are toxic as well, right? So you have a toxic character versus another toxic character.
Yeah, I imagine it. Toxic. I just imagine it like there's been an incident where he's fought it and it's like choked him out, and he's been like left for dead almost. And it's been a traumatizing, so traumatizing that he very rarely speaks about it in the 2 months period that you have the 10 issue arc. And then when we get to issue 10, we pass that and we release the 48-page giant size special, and it shows you that fight, and the fight is just a fucking brawl from page 1 to page 48.
You know how do you remember Beetlejuice, how he's terrified of the sandworm?
Yeah,
like he's always scared shitless of the sandworm. I imagine the Octogator.
This is it, yeah.
Yeah, this is his sandworm.
See, Tony imagined it as being a joke. Me and TJ didn't look at this like a joke. We looked at this and thought, this could be brilliant.
Yeah, again, it was just a throwaway line, and I do love all of this because it's like now I can see it now, and the wheels are turning in my head how to get this going. But Wizard says all this unnecessary. Look at this. I don't want to know. La 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 la. Hand-holding. All this exposition, all this BS exposition, right? He says, "I'm plugging my ears. I want to start on issue 6 and be lost." See, that's the glorious thing. And it was what I was trying to explain to Extra Hero when we had the argument, the incident. The idea, okay, is that you could pick up issue 6 and you won't be lost. That you don't have to read the previous issues, because while he has adventures in this 2-month period, there's not going to be like this adventure follows it. He's not going to reference. So like, and I'm trying not to give anything away. I'm like, how do I say this without like? So he did a thing, right? So in the next issue, they're not going to be like, man, remember that thing we just did? It's just going to start like, oh, this is a day. Like he wakes up and something happens, and then in the next issue, he's like, oh, I'm at work, and then something happens. And like in the next issue, might be like, I went to the grocery store and something happened, right? So there's no definitive. You could be like, well, actually, it's like issue 4, then issue 2, then issue 7, right? You could build it in your head however you feel it best fits, and it would work. Because again, it's just gonna be like a story of the week for those from issues 2 through 9, right? And then again, so issue 1 you get the origin. That's obviously the starting point. Then issues 2 through 9 would be, hey, these are the adventures he's had. The end of issue 1 would be like, we're back in now, right? This is where he ended up, and this is why he's so happy, right, to be a hero. And then issue 10 would be the conclusion, and issue 10 is going to tie it all together, and I'm going to do it in such a way that you're going to be fucking amazed. You're going to be like, I don't know how Tony was able to make all that shit and all that explanation he just gave tie all together in a nice, neat little bow.
It's going to be good. I've got half a chub just thinking about it, man.
Yep, it's too spoilery. Now we're going to read it looking for it. Tony fumbled.
No, there's other stuff, 56K. There's other things in there that you don't know about yet that Tony hasn't said anything about. None of us have. Even in issue 1, there's something going on in there that you don't know about.
Can't wait.
So, again, I wish I could just fucking spill my guts. This is why I don't believe Eric wrote the story, or at the very least, I don't think he scripted the story. He just more or less had like a general idea, like, oh yeah, there's this black superhero guy who, you know, he has to rescue a girl, like make a story out of it now, right?
Yeah, it's like if you pull up to Richard, for example, and you ask him about Mango, he'll never shut up about him. Like,
I know I don't.
I've heard the Mango origin story like 18 times already. That was just in the back. Like, we're like, Rich, we're not even on air. You can stop telling us that your daughter.
These stories are like these writers' babies. That's the thing. These characters are like their children.
Mango versus Frogman.
My baby created a baby. Mango's like a grandkid at this point.
What the fuck? I'm gonna have an idea of what's going on the whole time. Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. Yeah. And then, so with this new Octogator coming into existence, being a thing now that's actually gonna happen, I had to sort of rework some of the plot so that we,
I
said,
have I slowed the script down?
Not tremendously. It's not the script.
Sorry,
so
I
the
mean,
script for one is still being worked on. But
I mean, has me and TJ slowed the script down? I'm not going to take all the blame.
No, not at all. Like I said, the overall story. So now I'm going to work it in so we have that the incident, right? Again, this will be like the incident that gets referred to. And so instead of just the throwaway line of "I fought the Octogator," you know, I could spice it up. You know, I survived the Octogator, right? So like, oh shit, that must have been traumatic. You know, surviving something is a lot different than fighting or beating or, you know, overcoming. So
Samurai Snowman had a good one. Yeah.
How about Cat Gotcha Tongue, who's covered in belts and necklaces made of tongues?
Trademark.
Samurai Snowman always comes out. He's like, what about this train that's possessed by a really horny dinosaur? So it tries to have sex with other trains, and then you got to stop. Like, what? Like, it's a weird idea, but not. Also, I love you guys, and I really, really, it's really hard for you guys to say things, right, and for me to ignore them, right? I'm like, I don't want to steal people's ideas, right? At the same time, I don't want to pay you for your ideas because I'm cheap.
You should just do a disclaimer, Tony. Anything added to this story is now property of Tony and the Geek Getaway. Just to do a disclaimer in the beginning. You only have to read it. Just put it on screen for like 5 seconds.
If you don't cut to irrelevant wrestling promos, I'm not buying it. Yeah,
It's
funny because there is a wrestling reference in the first issue.
Riley's not going to get it. He hates wrestling.
Oh shit! We have our own narration guide.
Like I said, there's going to be if I can get Finbarr to draw it, you know, to my specifications. Right? There's going to be Easter eggs. I'm like, hey, when you do this scene, make sure you add this little thing, right, in the background. Make sure you add that. And hopefully he adds some things, you know, himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just have fun with it. I want him to have fun with it, as much fun as I'm having. But yeah, that's the Octogator. He's fantastic. And I want to show off this other equally fantastic thing. And because also it shows that I'm not just going, and I love TJLazer. I love all of you guys. Not in a gay way. But right, we're not just
not
going.
yet.
oh,
not
you
yet.
give us a thing, right? You give me a thing, and I'm like, that's fantastic, right? No, I'm looking at things. I go, yeah, I like this, but here's the problem with it, right? And TJ, he's fantastic. He's like, hey, I'll fix it. Boom, and he did.
Yeah, that's how graphics design. That's my profession.
Yeah. This,
Oh,
thing's
yeah?
this is beautiful, man.
So this is
You know, one thing about Sturgis, anyone who draws them, even his AI art, it always catches the pathetic in his eyes.
Yeah.
what about
you
putting
know how-
an ad
Richard?
space?
You know how people have pain in their eyes? You can see the pain, where you can see the patheticness in Sturgis' eyes every time.
The hurt,
Just the
loneliness.
disappointment in himself. Like, you know, and just pretending to.
What are you putting
Oh,
on the
man.
ad space in the middle of the comic? We are
Jewelry
not
store.
putting any ads in the comic. There's gonna be no ads. I am thinking, and
Should
I
put
want
one
to
on
make
the-
sure.
Back inside.
No, there's
No?
gonna be no ads.
No, right.
But what I'm thinking is the thing that I mentioned before. I want to reach out to a couple people that I know are have good comics. I mean, just first and foremost, I want to make sure that I'm promoting good comics, not just any comic, right?
You haven't talked about this publicly. I just think I better tell you that right now.
No, I did.
before you-
I did talk about it publicly.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah, because I said it would be a good idea to put like a little brochure or something where it's like, hey, come check out Richard's comic. Hey, go check out B.A. Turner's comic.
Yeah.
Hey, just like a little pamphlet that goes along with the issue.
That's a great idea.
And so, like I said, I want to make sure that I don't want to just put like Rich's book in there, and then like Rich's like, hey, I didn't appreciate you promoting my comic with your comic because your comic.
Who
shit.
the hell would not appreciate?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
with the how sensitive everybody is about everything, right? Like, I can imagine like, well, I'm not CG. Why'd you put my book in there with all those CG books, right? So I don't want to. I'm gonna make sure that like I tell people like, hey, is it okay? Like, I'm gonna do this thing.
So you're saying I can't give Tyler a free ad?
No,
I'll just
you
give him a
can't be
free
like,
ad
you know what?
in the digital.
Man, give me the Tyler. Put Tyler in there instead of me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that. No. So that's what I was thinking. In the digital, obviously, put everybody in there, right? But I was thinking of doing something like that. That was an idea. And again, I want to make sure like everybody's okay with this. But here's the image, right? And I seen this and I go, this is fantastic. This is lovely. But I had one problem with it. Anybody see the
yes.
problem?
It's too cool.
Right here. So his mouth is open. When you look in close, his mouth is open and you can see this, right? But with the way his bicep and everything is, it's kind of hard when it's further away.
I haven't
It looks a
seen.
little-
I haven't seen this. TJ sent me something different. That wasn't
Yeah.
there. All right.
Yeah. Because
I
this is
sent
the
you the
original
finished
version.
version, yeah.
Oh,
So I
Tony
was like,
gave you. Tony gave you some of his famous notes. I see. Then TJ, yeah.
The
Yeah, I love
famous
those.
notes?
I love those notes.
Cartoonists
not
talk
really
about this
notes.
all the time. Yeah, it was more of an order. It was like, hey, change this because it looks like shit.
Yeah.
I demand.
I know I'm not paying you anything, but change this anyway.
Now.
This is the finished
Oh, this
version.
is the after. There, yes. Look at that.
As you can see.
Ah.
So now we got the cape going over,
Yeah.
so it kind of the bicep isn't in
And
his
the
mouth
pin
space.
is there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a
And
little
his
that's
tongue is
better.
out just to make him more cartoonish.
But I always
Good
thought his tongue.
catch.
I thought his tongue was always there though. I remember his tongue being there before
It
when you
wasn't.
showed the black and white one.
When he used to have the hood, the old design, remember?
Yeah, when he had the hood up, you had the tongue as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because remember, I had to redraw him. I had to make him
Do you-
look more similar to the.
Did you
real-
find the hood as much of a pain in the ass as I did?
Yeah.
Essentially,
Yeah,
but
I'm not going to lie because it has to stick. Like you have to keep it triangular, even though it
Yeah.
defies all physics.
Yeah. It had
so
to be an
here-
odd
here-
shape because of his head. So
yeah, here's what I will say. As much shit as I give you guys for your art, please give me the exact same amount of shit, right? Because Finbarr, he's so nice that he's like, I actually never liked the hood, even though I said it was okay originally.
yeah, but I felt sorry for you. It wasn't that I didn't want to give you any writing
Don't feel
notes.
sorry
It's
for
just-
me. Give me all the.
But you were so
notes.
proud of your little frog, man. I didn't
I
want
wasn't
to.
really that proud.
You seemed very proud, so I can't break his heart like that and tell him.
Break my heart. I would rather you break my heart and deliver a quality comic book at the end than not break my heart and be like, yeah, you see everyone's like complaining about the hood and it's kind of shit and it's not that great.
Yeah, but in the back of my mind, I also wanted just a reason to be able to blame you for it all going wrong. So there is that.
Well, all the writing. Someone was saying earlier, I forget whose stream it was. So maybe it was Shane Davis. I watched a lot of stuff today. But basically they were saying, no, you know what? It was it's 2 guys. Fuck. No, it's like 4 guys, but it's like they always show 2 on the panel. Fuck. I'll remember. It'll come to me. But either way, they were saying, hey, it's not necessarily the art. You don't really need the best art. And they're like, look at Squidbillies. Right? That show's good. Everyone likes it. You know, the art's kind of shit. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, South Park. Right? I was like, yeah, that's kind of true. Like, you know, even with bad, quote unquote, bad art, you can have a good show if the writing is tight. What I think they missed, though, is there's a difference between bad art and art that's made bad, right? Like South Park was done purposefully to be the way it looks, right? It's like art direction, right? Like they said, hey, we're going to do these cutouts and it's going to look like this, right? But people who are like, I'm going to make something good and it just turns out bad, that's different. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's shitty, right? So
it has to match
bad
the
art
story.
Is a style. Yeah.
It has to match the story. It has to match the tone. Like you can get away with art that isn't like super hyper realistic, detailed, but it has to match the tone, the story, and the message and what you're trying to do.
That's why. So what Richard's talking about there, that's why when I saw Jimmy Reyes' stuff, you know, the pencils that Richard was showing off on his stream, and I put my head in my hands and I went, "Oh, what are you doing, Finbarr? You fucking imposter!" I was thinking, but that's not what we're going for. We're going for like 1960s Jack Kirby inks, that kind of thing. So we're not going for realistic stuff like what Jimmy's doing at the minute with his one. So we're going to get away with it. I hope.
I wish my art was there too. I'm like years away, sadly.
Just do something. Just draw something and
just keep drawing.
Throw it out there. Yeah, just throw it out there. Let's look at it. It's like TJ
so
says,
funny.
we're seeing a lot of stuff coming out of people that we didn't know was there because we never had this avenue to let it out.
Yeah.
It's funny because Finbarr is going, man, I seen Jimmy's art and I feel like an imposter. He's so much better. Wizard saying, I wish my art was as good as Finbarr's. But Jimmy was actually on stream talking about how he felt like an imposter compared to everyone else that he looked up to. Right? That you know, he didn't think his art was good enough. So I think that's what separates good artists from bad artists, right? A bad artist is like, I'm done. I cannot learn anymore. I'm as good as I can go, right? Where a good artist is like, I still have to grow. There's still more I can achieve, right? It's like that episode with The Simpsons where Homer was looking up to Thomas Edison, right? And then he found out that Thomas Edison was looking up to Leonardo da Vinci, right? Like people who strive for greatness look up to greatness and they're like, hey, I want to be on that level one day. Now, Simpsons always do it. Rippaverse Goalpost, he's been a member 2 months.
I'm going to call this motherfucker out who called my art AI, by the way.
Who did? Goalposts?
Goalposts, yeah.
Goalposts himself is AI. Prove me otherwise, Goalposts. Come on here.
How did my phone get injury from I don't know. I was confused too. Oh my god, I'm late. I thought injury came home like 10 minutes ago, but it's 10:24. Yeah. I thought I was like, man, Bianca, you got hurt and you still came here? Fantastic. But yeah, so this is what he sent me. And I did give extensive notes because I was like, this is great. And obviously I seen the green water and my mind was already going there in the sewer. They're fighting, right? And he has this startled look on his face. So my brain, because I didn't come up with this character at all. This is totally TJLazer, right? But when I saw this, my brain started writing the story for how this image came to be, how we got here, right? And my brain sees this as opening panel, boom, we get this, oh my God, right? Like, and then we do the flashback to like, you know, how did we get here, right? And in my brain movie, I'm seeing that he's investigating the sewers because there's a rumor about this big, rat creature in the sewers. So he's obviously got to go down there. He's got to take care of business. and we get the shot of him walking. And Finbarr, take notes because you're going to be drawing this.
Well, what's
Just
his
kinda
name?
walk.
What name have you come up with from? Because you can't call him Renowned Zero.
Sturgis.
Sturgis.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sturgis monster, because the Sturgis sounds like a Jack Kirby monster name.
Well, here's why he's the Sturgis monster in my mind. I came up with the idea that he first was encountered at the Sturgis Bicycle Rally. That's the first reported sighting of the creature. That's why he's the Sturgis creature.
It's better than my idea. Can I tell you what my idea was?
What was your idea?
Rat fuck.
Oh no, it's
Rat fuck.
Admittedly, I'm not a great writer.
Hey, I say both. You call him Sturgis. He's like, who's Sturgis, homie? I'm Rat fuck. You know? Who's the Sturgis? Get my name right. I'm Rat fuck.
Rat funk.
Nah, it's too clean.
Did you call him on Turgis?
Turgis, that's good.
Turgis is good.
Yeah. So, like I said, I imagine he's going through the.
Or maybe the Turgis rally instead of the Sturgis rally. We can go with that, sure.
Probably.
Yeah, because that might be.
If we use Sturgis rally, they might.
They might sue you.
Yeah.
So he's going through the sewer, and we're gonna get the panel like close up of Frogman's face, where you hear the little noise. You got the little like chattering teeth noise, and then he turns around. And boom, that's the panel. Like, oh shit, because he's so surprised. Because he's thinking that's like a big rat, like a big, like a puppy dog-sized rat, and it's like this huge fucking monster. And then we can kind of piggyback off of the Octogator thing, right? Because it's like, oh shit, this is another giant monster that I have to fucking face, right? He's already traumatized from the Octogator. So I think it all works together.
Can you imagine an Octogator / rat fuck team up?
Yeah.
that would be something.
Or even
it's like his own Sinister Six. Someone design a LG monster.
Yeah,
we'll have our own Sinister Six.
That's what it needs. That's what I want. I gotta get an artist to commission this. Like LG and Sturgis are like Cowboy. I mean, Bebop and Rocksteady, and then July is like the Shredder. But they're all like just the dumbest version of it. That'd be amazing.
I got to say your prayers, Toidles.
Yeah.
The renowned rat. You can actually throw that line in there.
That could be a nickname. That could be a nickname for him.
You could say, yeah, he's pretty renowned. Right? That rat.
I mean, for the right reason.
Aaron World Order also said, make him sing Barbie Girl.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Wait,
so originally, before I had pointed out that you can't put lyrics in a comic book, when Eric July did it, I was like, damn, because originally one of my ideas was to have an issue where Frogman is just kind of singing a song, and then he kind of he's like wearing headphones, singing a song, going into like a grocery store, and then there's like a robbery, and then he kind of beats them up to the beat of the song. But then I was like, oh shit, I can't do that because it's copyrighted, and I'll look like a hypocrite. Yep. This is why drawn talk is wrong. Like when you realize you're going to be a hypocrite, you stop yourself before you're a hypocrite.
You don't double down.
Then,
he's on a stream with Drink with Crazy. Tyler.
You should make the Eric July monster character transgender.
I just had the wildest idea. It just came to my head. You need to clip that, Tony, of him singing it, and then do it for like when you get super chats, a certain type of super chat. That would be hilarious. Cricket.
Yeah.
Frogman singing. It was a California August in '82,
or the Geek Getaway song. It just happens to exist in that world.
Getaway.
Yeah, I don't know if you can use it for everything, though, can you, Tony? You can't. You've got
what's
permission to use it
said
here.
No, we got
Cracker
permission.
said you can do it anywhere. Okay.
Yeah, he's like, do whatever the fuck you want with it. He's like, you're fucking awesome. And I was like, I know I am.
Hey, get out of my way while he's punching people. Shit.
I'll call him Onirata, Japanese for demon.
That's a nice one. He could beat some Japanese guy who calls him Onirata.
If he's supposed to be kind of like Bebop Rocksteady, say your prayers, Froggy.
Hold the truth hostage likes his eyes. Yeah, see, the eyes capture the sadness the loneliness. Of being-
Patheticness, man.
If you zoom into his eyes, he has those crazy eyes like Earthworm Jim or Crash Bandicoot.
Like, dude.
See that? Like one eye looks different than the other.
I like the plaque on the teeth.
Yeah.
To be the detail with the teeth.
Yeah.
It is so good. I'm so glad.
Just
So
imagine how
inspired
he'd
by
be
you
if he
guys.
those teeth break. He'd be like, ah!
Rat-a-tat-tat. Oh wait, is that a Pokemon? I think it is.
Rat-a-tat. Rat-a-tat.
Quaker says you could use it, Tony. I won't come after you with a lawsuit. Yeah, I'm gonna put the disclaimer. Every comment, advice, offered unsolicited
We'll be taken
be
and
stolen.
At your
Will
own
be
risk.
stolen and used without any money given to you.
So it's been over an hour, and I just realized this probably might be the longest we've gone. You've gone for having a few seconds in a video.
Yeah. But it don't
This
count
is-
because we stopped it.
this is what
1
we do.
second in, doesn't count. But this just shows. I mean, it's like 50 minutes that we've just talked about.
Yeah.
2 images and all the fucking shit that we're going, like all the things in my brain. But my writing process, in case anybody's wondering, because obviously I've never written a comic before. I
Right.
did a script once for a proposed animated series that never got made, right? And I've written articles, and I've written. I don't script my videos, so those don't count. But I've written other things, some dialogue for video games and stuff. But I've never scripted a comic, and I looked it up, and maybe Richard could help me on this because I looked and I couldn't find like a consensus of like this is how all comic book creators script it, so the artists know what to draw. Right? They were like, well, some people do it this way, and then like some people do it like this, and like IDW has a way that they do it, but that's not like the standard for the industry. And I was like,
let me show you the one I used that worked best. I'll try to Google it.
yeah. So
find out,
I almost it's sort of like a hybrid between script writing for a movie, right?
Yeah.
We're doing. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna put down, this is page 1. It's gonna have 4 panels. Panel, and then I label each panel as like the first panel, boom, and then here's what it looks like. Here's the scene, and what everything is, and then I separate the dialogue like. And then if there's text boxes, right? Because dialogue would be word balloons, and then text boxes would be.
you got an editor, Tony?
Yeah, Tony.
No.
All right. I should just hook you up with Vince, man. Like that's who I use for my editor. But this is, hold on, let me make it bigger.
That's what she said.
That's pretty much kind of what it is. You got title of the book. You can I don't add all that, but page 1,
this
panel
is how
1.
I wanted. This is how I expected Tony to script it, but he was drawing me these like crude stick figure drawings.
You said
to show me.
you're like, hey, could you draw? I was like, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you ever
You
going to show?
suggested don't make it sound like the drawing was. I was like, I can't draw for shit. You're like, could you at least draw me
Are
something?
you ever
so I
going
have
to? Are you ever going to show them off, or do you want them to
No.
stay hidden? Okay.
The Tony sketch. The Tony sketch.
Released it? No. I'm like,
Release the Tony
oh,
sketch.
boy.
If I showed you the Tony sketch, you guys would
Should
like,
be a
"There's no
stretch
way."
goal.
Release
Did
the
like-
Tony stretch.
Did like a 5-year-old? Did you trick your
Oh,
nephew to
I
draw
did
that?
say
It's
what
like
it
so
is.
shit. Dude, it is so shit.
I was going to
It's
say,
so
you
bad.
have some people like Grant Morrison or Tom King who actually do their own artwork for the covers.
But yeah, it is horrible.
I showed
And
it
Finbar's
to.
the one.
I showed it to
I-
Rosie, and she tore it apart.
He goes. I gave him the outline. I was like, this is what the first page is going to look like. The opening 2 pages, and he's like, well, can you draw me something so I know exactly what it is that your mind is thinking? I'm like, no, because I suck at it. He's like, well, just draw something, right? He's like, if you just draw like a general picture.
And then this is Jim Zub's way of it. Let me see if I can make it bigger. I'll make it bigger. And this is kind of like what people see, like because he labels. He numbers the bubbles,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So That's what they
Well,
have.
the reason why, Robert, the reason why I'm asking Tony to sketch it and do it the way he's doing it is because I know he's an absolute pain in the ass. So if he did it like this, and if I put one like text box or word balloon in the wrong place, he'd be like, "No, I wanted it there. I wanted it here."
So
if I have
blame him if it ends up not being what he wants. You can
exactly.
Be like,
so if I have him, if I have him even crudely draw it in the places he wants it all to be, then you can't complain when I put it exactly where he wanted it.
Smart move.
Yeah,
but he still asked for edits. So
and the letterer too. He's like, okay, I got on this page, I have 6 bubbles. So he's gonna count the bubbles too. And make sure nothing's missing.
So this is kind of what I do, right? I do the page panel. I'll describe the panel as best I could, and then go to the. And again, I'm
gonna start turning in. I'm starting to get really tired.
All right, Robert.
Yep.
Catch you later, Robert.
See ya.
I have it written out so the text boxes, which are different from the so some of the text boxes are going to be the inner dialogue of Frogman, and then some of them will be like the narration boxes, and so those are different. It'll be like I'll say, "Hey, text box 1, text box 2," but then word balloons will be just like that. And as far as where they go, this is the one of the issues that I'm running into, right? Because again, I can see the things in my head, and then I have to put them on paper and crudely draw it and go, okay, I guess that goes here, and hopefully that Finbarr can recreate that in a better, high quality version. So there might be,
I also have the Eric July script format if you guys want to see it, if you want to bring it up.
Oh yeah.
Here, this is the Eric July. That's how he writes his script.
You know how there's that It's a Trap clip that someone looped for like 9 hours? Someone needs to do that for Eric July. What it is.
What it is.
So I was saying, so in maybe like 30 years, if this comic book becomes great, fantastic, and everyone loves it, maybe at some point I'll release like a $500 Tony sketch version. Like you can see the crappy sketches that I sent to Finbarr in a comic. It'll be because at that point it'll essentially be the comic, right? Just like really crappily drawn.
And if anybody wants to offer me $250 quietly on the side,
you'll give them.
I'll give it to them.
Yeah. So back to this image. So and again, because I'm the hugest pain in the ass. Like if I was hiring real artists, they'd quit, right? Because as long
I would have quit. I would have quit if I didn't know you well enough already.
Yeah. So I love this, right? But I was like, the white is plain. So I was like, hey, can you do like a dirty brick wall, like a sewer brick wall? And what's funny is like sewers don't look like what they look like in the movies, right? Like you watch Guys and Dolls is like this pristine sewer with like colorful pipes everywhere, and then like if you watch like a Ninja Turtle, like they're giant open, there's like everything's brick, there's like no pipes, right? Like so I imagine like a Ninja Turtle sewer where it's like a dirty brick wall, and then I want like a big pipe here and sort of leaking this green water, so like the green water is coming from that pipe. So make it so, TJ.
I'm going to try something, and then I'll let you think about, give me your thoughts, because the whole idea is like it looks like German expressionism. You know how the walls are like all over the place. I'm going to try and see if it works. Maybe it'll make it look interesting.
See, and that's the collaborative process. I say this is what I want, and TJ says, "Fuck you, I'm going to draw it my way," and then we meet in the middle somewhere
with an interesting accent, so it works. And you get persuaded.
I'm like I said, I'm not an artist. I don't draw. Finbarr knows. Again, Finbarr, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you do draw. You do draw.
It was so fucking bad. I was like so embarrassed just to send that to you because it was so fucking bad. Even I knew it was bad. I was like, this is just horrible. Like, this looks like a child's drawing.
I'm glad you couldn't hear Rosie when I showed her.
I wish I could. It probably would have been funny. But I know I'm bad, right? Like I'm not as someone who's like, oh, I'm great at art, and then like, oh man, this is fucking terrible. I legitimately know that I am terrible at it. So saying that I'm bad is not going to hurt my feelings. I just don't want to show anybody because I know it's bad, right? Like, they don't need to see that. It looks like a mental patient. Like it looks the kind of art like in a movie where like this is where fucking the killer grew up, and he's like flipping through the pages, like look at his art, and like, oh yeah, that's the fucking mind of a serial killer right there. Right? That's how bad the fucking art looks. So keep that in mind when you buy my comic. But yeah, so really excited. We spent an hour, way more than I thought, talking about this, and I could keep going on, but
because you're excited about creating something. You're not worried about fucking widgets and warehouses and wrapping up your employees and
Yes. That's
we've
why
got all that to
people,
come.
I don't know, like a lot of people think we're offended for no reason, but it's really like when we hear that shit, it's really skin crawling, to say the very least. Like being as an artist, it's very offensive.